Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel where typically you would see me go out in my self-converted camper van to some beautiful little locations alone in the woods. However, today I thought we'd add a bit of a twist, a bit of spice on top, and we're going to do something a little bit different. I am going to be attempting to park up and camp overnight in one of the worst rated park ups that I can find. So how is that going to work, you ask? Well, very simply, I have an app on my phone. The app is called Park for Night. You can find all of these different places where you could potentially stay overnight in a vehicle. And what's great about it is that every place that you can choose to stay at, it's actually got a rating from 1 to 5 of how good that place is to park at and stay overnight. 1, of course, being the absolute worst, where people have not recommended to stay at that specific place. 5 obviously being the absolute best, where it's got loads and loads of positive good reviews. So I'm just going to pick a park up at random. I have not seen this before. I have no idea what half of these are going to be like, but remember, we're looking for the lowest start possible. So let's just go with this one here for the moment. You can see there it says a rating of 4.8 out of 5, which means that's a pretty nice park up. I don't want to be staying there tonight, unfortunately. We're not looking for luxury, we're looking for whatever the opposite of luxury is. That one has no stars whatsoever, which doesn't mean it's bad, it just means that not enough people have stayed there to actually left any feedback or comments, so we won't go there. I'm sure there's got to be some dodgy ones around here. I found a 2.5 out of 5. Very busy, so not easy to get to and spot. Loads of dog walkers and barking dogs first thing. Few camper vans left rubbish behind in plastic bag, which means foxes feast. If you do camp here, take your rubbish with you, of course. That is a possibility. I'm going to start that. I've found a 2 out of 5. Near a park, pub and village shop. If it's near a park, you get the druggies. If it's near a pub, you get the drunks. And the village shop, I don't know what you get. Regularly used by local use to sniff gas. Okay, so that one is definitely the worst one that I've seen so far. Wow, here we go. I have found a 1 star. Is not suitable for overnight, 2-hour max. I don't want to get myself a ticket. Not in this video anyway. Okay, I found a 2 star. The last comment is what piqued my interest in a weird, wonderful, evil kind of way. These 2 car parks are popular with teenagers visiting with their sports cars, visiting at all hours of the night. They race around the car park, do handbrake turns, and occasionally have accidents. On one occasion, they threw a rock at my van, causing a dent. That by far sounds like the worst one, so that is in my top 3 of places to go. We can either go to a place where there's potential racer boys and have a rock thrown at the van, or we can go to a place where foxes feast on van lifers' leftover food, or we can go to a place where local youth sniff gas. Ooh, the options I've got tonight. The thing I'm concerned about is that the one where they had a rock thrown at the van doesn't have any pictures. Not that it needs pictures, but that makes me even more nervous. So before we crack on with the rest of the video and tonight's camp out, today's video is sponsored by IDA, but it's genuinely a product and a service that you could really benefit from. IDA stands for International Drivers Association, and in this little white package here, I have something called an IDP, which stands for International Driver's Permit. So an international driver's permit in its simplest form is a permit that allows foreigners to drive vehicles in foreign countries. If you're like me and you've traveled to multiple different countries around the world, whether it's in a camper van, a motorhome, whether you're going on holiday or abroad and you're renting a car, having something like an IDP is going to be so beneficial going forward. Me and Evie, we're heading to Albania in just a couple of weeks on holiday, and an IDP is going to be very necessary when we get to that country. So I'm just hiding my address so no weirdos turn up at my house, but this is actually recognised in over 150 countries around the world. I genuinely think that if you got pulled over in a foreign country, if you had any issues perhaps renting a vehicle or a motorbike, whatever it is, this is just going to add that little bit more confidence to you and hopefully to the authority that you're dealing with that, hey, you can safely and legally drive in that country when you have one of these. If you want to pick one up yourself, you can head down to the link in the description where you can get 10% off using the discount code WillsWhereabout10. Head over to the IDA website and get yourself one ordered, because I do think it's going to be pretty handy. Okay, I think we're going to do it. We are going to go to the car park where teenagers visit with their sports cars at all hours of the night and do handbrake turns and throw rocks at vans. Mary, please, baby, please be okay tonight. Wish us luck. Wish us luck. So, tonight's dinner has been acquired, and for those of you that have watched the channel for a while will know exactly what I'm cooking. So without further ado, let's head and drive over to potentially the worst rated park up that I could find, and let's see what it's like, because I'm pretty sure it said it was extremely muddy, and with the amount of rain that we've had, that's not going to be good. I really don't want to be getting stuck. Okay, so the park up apparently is just up here on the left. Here? There is another VW van there, whether they're staying overnight, who knows? Let me just pull in here a second. So this is the spot. Doesn't look too bad. I'm not sure if it is a National Trust place, but there's plenty of space to park, which is nice. I'm going to try and tuck myself away in the corner. What I think I'm going to do is reverse in so that if I do need to, for whatever reason, get away, then I can just drive on straight out. Let's park up and then I'll show you a little bit more. So welcome to Headley Heath. Not an area that I've been before, but looks like there's loads of lovely walks and stuff around here. No camping or parking overnight, and then you need to pay for parking. My van life friend is gone. I've got to be honest with you, I'm looking at this place thinking it's bloody gorgeous. Look at this. All of the trees surrounding me. For some silly reason, I've parked in the wettest and muddiest area, but I'm not going to be jumping in and out of the van because it's far too wet and disgusting for that. The only thing that I'm foreseeing as an issue with this park up is the fact that it is next to the main road, which is probably going to have traffic throughout the night. It's obviously going to get a little bit quieter, but that is quite noisy right now. The next thing, which I don't know if I've seen that often, CCTV in operation. That is something you don't see very often at park ups anyway. I wonder why that is, I'm not too sure, but the van looks great in this little setting. You've got a lovely little bench over there, walks off into the forest, another bench just there. You've got some more people turning up, probably for some late night dog walks. I can imagine in the morning this place is going to be rammed with dog walkers depending on the weather. Have a look at this forest. Might get a little bit spooky this evening, but touch some wood, no creepy people come out of the woods and knock on the van. I'm going to have to get in the van this way because the sliding door is going to be way too muddy. What I'm finding a little bit weird is there's a Mini Cooper just there. All of the windows are all steamed up. The lights on the vehicle are actually on, but nobody is in the car. So whether somebody's just left the ignition on, maybe with the heating going, and they've left the lights on, who knows? But a little bit weird. So this is also the spot where the review said these two car parks are popular with teenagers visiting with their sport cars, visiting all hours of the night. They race around the car park doing handbrake turns and occasionally have a few accidents. That sounds like fun to me, apart from the accidents, but doing handbrake turns. On one occasion they threw a rock at my van, causing a dent. The police were called but did nothing. Currently it's 7:05. Still light and bright. Not raining just yet, but as we get later into the night it's obviously going to get darker, which is when you get the boy racers out, so only time will tell on that one. Let's jump on and cook some dinner and then see what happens as it gets into the darkness of the night, because honestly all things start to happen when it gets dark. All weird noises and all sorts of weird shite. So what I am going to do, which I don't normally do to be honest until much later in the evening, is I'm going to draw the curtains. Because there's CCTV cameras, because it's a National Trust parking spot, I want to try and be as stealthy as I possibly can. So there's actually a couple of problems which I've started to notice with my van, and I could only have noticed it as the weather has started to change, because I've found two leaks in the van, which is not good at all. The first leak is up here. For whatever reason, it seems to be leaking, well, down from kind of the joined metal in the van onto the seat. And this has been happening all day as it's been raining. Ugh. I'm trying to work out exactly where it's coming from. I don't know if it's coming from the roof of the van and then coming down into this metal channel, or if it's coming from the actual seal of the van. So as always, if anybody's got a Fiat Ducato, Citroen Relay, Peugeot Boxer, and you've had these issues of a leak coming from your sliding door, let me know, because I actually thought that it was coming from my external light, but I've resealed that and the leak is still happening, which is a little bit annoying. So I need to do something about that, because I didn't realise this. If you take the seal off, you've actually got quite a big gap from the door to the edge of the van. I don't know what the weather is meant to be like tonight, so we'll find out and we'll see how wet things get in the morning, but that is something that I need to sort out. The other leak that I've started to notice is coming from the window. You won't be able to see it now because I wiped it earlier, but I think what's happening is water is coming in from the window on the top and then dripping down around here. So again, what I need to do is put some sealant around the edge of the window to stop it leaking, which is rather frustrating because I thought Mary was all patched up and done and dusted. But there's one other big thing which I've noticed, which is to do with the actual gearbox and the engine. And that is when I'm driving, whenever I change into fourth gear, there's a crunch. Fourth gear seems to be crunching from third to fourth, from second to fourth, whatever it is. Fourth gear doesn't sound or feel very nice, which may mean that I need to get the gearbox resynchronized. So the battle wounds of having this van now for 3 or 4 years, going out in it a lot, doing a fair few miles on it, are starting to show. Oh, they just pulled up next to me and now they've driven off. Maybe they're thinking, oh, are you staying here, or is that an undercover ranger or something? So I genuinely cannot remember the last time I cooked this meal. If you see the ingredients that I've got, it's very basic, very simple, but it's one of my favourites. El Paso fajitas, baby. Oh, we back. We really back now. Whoa, oh, God. That does often happen when you have a van. Whoa. Well, it's just me and you now, Mary and the fajitas. Whether anybody else comes, only time will tell. There's the view, not the best, but pretty tranquil. Basically, feels like I'm in the trees. The stuff of absolute gods, my friend. El Paso, why are you not sponsoring me yet? It is my absolute dream to work with them, I think. Honestly, it's been a long, long time since I've had fajitas. But seeing as we're back out in the van, in what could potentially be a very dodgy park. Oh, shit. How the hell did that just happen? Oh, my God. Yeah, anyway, it seems fitting for tonight's kind of arrangement. Back to the good old days. I also know I keep my fajitas pretty basic. Could add some tortilla chips, could add some guacamole, some salsa, some sour cream. If you think I should do that, let me know. Tonight I'm just going pretty bog standard. We're going for the double layer. I think I finally learned how to wrap a wrap. Pretty good, huh? He says. Bon appetito, everybody. I can confirm, by the way, without doubt, The best thing I have done to this van is this lagoon leg right here. I am constantly working inside the van now, just editing videos, dinner table, office, all in one. For heaters, good day, my friend. Don't know why that's Australian when they're Mexican, but hey ho. Oh, nice soggy wrap, just the way I like it. Cheers. They literally take about 15-20 minutes to make. So simple, yet so delicious. Well, who would have guessed that that would have happened? I'm a victim to the El Paso. Oh, God. Oh, no, not on the table. You can see why it's so important to pick kind of the right place to park, just in terms of adding a bit of stealthiness to your park up, because on the right hand side of the van, this is where people would actually come and park. This is where the Mini was parked earlier, but with my blinds and curtains closed, you can't actually see inside the van. On the other side, I've still got the blinds and curtains open, which is quite nice because it means, I don't know, it just feels a little bit nicer having it open for the moment, but you can obviously see inside. But there's no way that somebody could park here anyway, or the people from the road could actually see me. But the car park is now completely empty. Got a few cars coming past. It's still relatively early, about 9 o'clock, and to be honest, I can see why racer boys would come here. It's a nice big empty gravel car park, which is kind of out of the way, no houses or anything nearby, so you could probably rev up your vehicles and do some handbrake turns like the review said. You really can't beat it. When the weather's like this, a bit miserable and rainy, just coming inside your van, turning the heater on, closing the blinds, the curtains, getting nice and warm and cozy. It just feels very cozy in here. My absolute favourite weather conditions when I'm inside the van is when it's absolutely hammering it down with rain outside, also when it snows. Nothing better than having the blinds open and looking out at the snow and you're nice and warm inside your van. Anyway, New York cheesecake for dessert, because why not? Lovely that.
Just skimming the corners up now, and then get ready to put the stop bead on over the top.
Oh, thank the Lord mighty Jesus.
So make sure when you are pulling them through that all of...
It is now 20 past 10. No boy races yet. There's still possibly some time, so I'm going to head off to bed. If people arrive, I'm sure I'll wake up and I'll let you know. I tell you what, for all of the park ups that I've stayed at in my time, which is a lot, this is not bad at all. So the review and comment left from the Silk Road, who said racer boys, they had a rock thrown at their van, don't park here. I would absolutely say park here. Can't lie, it's a little bit of a letdown. I wanted to see a bit of mischief, a bit of trouble, as I'm sure you did. But honestly, I cannot fault this park up whatsoever. The only thing that I could complain about, if I was being really, really picky, is the road noise. Although, of course, there is the sign saying no overnight parking. Absolutely everywhere nowadays says no overnight parking. And in my opinion, if you're just respectful and you leave no trace, which is exactly what I do, then I don't see why you can't come and park at places like this, to be totally honest with you. And here I am, chilled out in my van with some Summer Berries Quaker Oats for breakfast, because why not? Ooh, hot, hot, hot. The worst thing about this entire park up is that I've got El Paso fajita mix all over my jumper. That's literally the worst thing about this experience. Other than that, it's been very, very pleasant. We've already got people turning up this morning, ready and going for their dog walks, but it's absolutely a beautiful day and a beautiful spot. This place is an absolute spot and a half. Worst rated park up. I think I'm gonna have to test more to see what they're really like. Test more theories and reviews from the comments that people have left on different park ups. So if you guys want to see more worst rated park up reviews, let me know. And I'm sure out there we will find some very, very dodgy ones. As always guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.